Hey, what's up, you guys? Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Curiosity Didn't Kill podcast. I'm your host, Ash Bay, the Mindset Witch, and today is an interesting topic. I think it's something that it's a question that everyone wants to know the answer to. And today we're talking about how to live a happier life. How do you walk through your life happier, more uplifted, especially when it seems like everything can be coming crashing down in such a crazy world? So I gave this a long think in terms of what has brought me to this point in my life? Like, what are some of the concepts? What have I done? I'm pretty much a chill person all of the time. People have complimented me just on my energy in general. It's very relaxing, it's very grounding. And then I'm able to keep a level head even when it seems like things are on fire. How do I do it? How do you do it? And for the longest time, I really thought it was really just my energy, right? Like I'm a Taurus, there's tons of Taurus in my chart. So I'm just a chill person. I'm just chill, I'm low key, I'm relaxed. And while there may be some validity to that, and that is just part of my energy, but how? What are the things? What are the processes, right? Because when we talk about obtaining something, whether it's a goal, any kind of outcome, we're talking about process. How do we do something? How do we get somewhere, right? Like if I'm on a road trip, I'm starting at one end of the country, going to the other end of the country. What are the roads? What are the highways that I'm taking? What are the exits that I'm taking? Where am I stopping to take a break at? What's the plan, right? What's the process? There's got to be a way to obtain something, right? So I wanted to really think about what that is. How have I been able to kind of obtain this sort of chill demeanor? And this is not to pat myself on the back or anything like that. This is genuinely how do you walk your day to day just more chill, more relaxed, more happier, calmer? And while you can do a lot of things like meditation, which is great, breath work, which is great, is that really the meat of it? Is that really the secret sauce? What is the thing that I would personally say has helped me have this sort of woo-saw kind of vibe, right? And I think there is some form of yes, breath work is a tool for me. I love breath work. I do it as a form of nervous system regulation, um, reacting to a situation, as well as just to manage my energy in general. But I would not say that's the sauce. That's the meat of the how to be chill, if you will, how to live your most chill life. I don't think that I would say that that's it. Also not meditation, at least not for me. So what is it? What's gotten me here? What's gotten me through some trauma? What's gotten me through some craziness? What keeps my head at a level place? And when I thought about this, I really think, and might sound crazy to some of you, just my ability sometimes to not give a fuck. And I think a lot of the time when we say that and you're just don't give a fuck, there's a lot of levels. This is like an onion, right? We're pulling back layers here. There's a lot of details, nuances, just like with a lot of things. But when we say just don't give a fuck, I feel like a lot of people will hear that and they're just don't care about it. And I want to preface that with that's not the case, right? We're not just not caring about it, because I don't want you to go into this and think I just shouldn't care about something, or I should just negate something, or I should just push something under the rug. That's not the vibe of this is the conversation. So it's more about picking and choosing and being very, very, very selective about the things that you do care about, right? And this is a process. So just for the sake of this conversation, I'm going to sum it up in a nutshell, but it's a process. So when we pick and we choose what we really care about, this is us defining our values. What are your values? And I invite you to journal on this. Think about this. What are the things that I value in my life? What do I really, really, really care about? What are the things that light me up, that bring me joy? What are the things that I can't live without? What are the things that I aspire to be, aspire to do? What just lights my heart on fire? What do I love? Genuinely love, 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 love. What are your values? What do you care about? Some people can't really define them. And you might do like a blanket level, like friends, family, kids, right? But like go deeper than that, like outside of even just your external world. What about your internal world? Like just you. Like I invite you to get a little bit selfish for a moment and just think about yourself. Like what are your core values like within you, like outside of your family, your kids? What else? Well, can you think of anything else? Some people can't. So it's an interesting thing to really to think about, to journal on, to reflect on, defining your values. And then we be very selective. We're very selective with our energy, that what we are giving away our energy to, right? Because if we have like, let's say like 50 different things throughout our day, just one day, just one single day, that like I'm taking pieces of my energy, right? This is me breaking pieces of my energy off of my body, and I'm giving it to these things throughout my day. Like, you get some energy, you get some of my energy, you get some of my energy. Like, I'm just giving away my energy, like freaking Oprah, right? So now I'm not left with any for me. So this is what I mean by like learning not to give a fuck. But when I say that, I mean like being very selective about what you give your energy to. And again, like I said, this is a process, because even like though I feel like this has been my secret sauce to just being kind of like chill and level headed, it's still a process for me. Like it's going to be a forever process, right? Of like, what do I give my energy to and what don't I give my energy to? So for me, I started doing this thing that I have called the DGAF project. And I'll explain to you what it is and how it works. And I invite you to do it too and just see what comes up for you, because this was just a weird whim, an idea that I had that I was like, sure, I'll give it a go. We'll see what this looks like. And ever since starting it, I started it like, I don't know, a few days ago. Just interesting things, interesting reflections have come up for me that I'm like, really? Like, even though, yes, I've spent so many years reflecting, doing the shadow work, things that still I hadn't dug up, things that still I didn't realize, like stories that were playing out in my subconscious that I didn't bring to my conscious yet. So, the way this works, the way I've been doing it, is I'll go through my day and I keep a note, like a notepad in my phone. Like some people have the Notes app, or you can use the Notion app, or I don't know, whatever app you want, Google Docs, whatever. Just keep something that you can keep tabs of the things that bother you throughout the day. And it doesn't have to be anything huge, but like anytime you're like bothered, upset, you get frustrated. I mean, it could be anything, right? It could be the smallest thing, it could be the biggest thing. Just anything that like ruffles your feathers, something. Just write it down, put it in your notes. And then I will ask myself, why in this situation, whatever it was that happened, why could I, in that moment, not give a fuck about it? You know, like why in that moment was I either frustrated, upset, whatever the emotion was that came up? Why? Like, why did I feel this thing instead of like just not giving a fuck? And then you start to bring the subconscious forward into the conscious through this process. So and then I'll read you my real actual examples like throughout the week, probably. Like we'll go over them together and it'll be a fun time. But yeah, so like I'll just ask myself, like, why in this moment did it bother me? And why could I not in this moment not give a fuck? And then it'll make me like realize, like, okay, because I value this. Like, okay, here's an example. Because this probably doesn't make the most sense to an example. So the other day, actually, it was yesterday. I'm driving behind this guy. It's a one way, both ways. So, like, there's no extra lanes to turn into to pass anybody. I'm stuck behind this guy. He's driving really fucking slow. And that already is frustrating me. And then we get to a red light. So he stops at the red light, but he puts his blinker on to make a right-hand turn. And at this light, you can make a right-hand turn on the red. So he totally would have been fine to go. But we instead just sat there forever until the light turned green. And for whatever reason, this just like blah, like I didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't have anywhere to be. Like I wasn't on a deadline. I just wanted to get home. And I was just frustrated that this individual was driving slow and then seemed to not know how the road operated and how to drive, the rules of the road. So then I'm reflecting on this. I wrote it down and I was like, okay, why does it bother you that he's driving slow? Why did it bother you that it appeared that he didn't know to turn right on the red for whatever reason? Maybe he didn't know, maybe he didn't feel comfortable, I don't know. But why did it bother me? Why in this moment could I choose not to give a fuck about this, right? It's not a big deal. It's really not. I don't have anywhere to be. But why? Why in this moment could I not give a fuck about him going slow or not give a fuck about him not making that right hand turn when he could have? So, and then I like thought about it and I was like, well, it kind of feels like he doesn't know how to drive. And I'm like, hey, why does it bother you that it feels like he doesn't know how to drive? Feels like there's incompetence there. I'm like, okay, well, why does incompetence bother you? And I was like, I started to dig and I was like, well, I think it's because I was forced to grow up fast and I was forced to figure things out on my own. And if I know things and I'm forced to figure things out, then you should fucking be able to figure things out too. Something is so simple to me, like driving and being able to drive. So I'm like, huh, is this like maybe resentment manifesting in itself and feeling like I had to grow up very early or feeling like I had to figure out a lot of things on my own at a very young age. And now I'm taking out this like resentment on other people because I feel like they can't or won't or haven't figured things out for themselves. And I feel like they should. And I'm just like, huh. So that's just an example. And then that helped me kind of like again, what do I really care about? Like, am I really giving away my energy? Like now knowing what I'm giving away my energy to by being frustrated by this thing, is it worth it? Does it deserve my energy? And helping me again be more selective about what I'm giving away my energy to. So, yeah, it's been pretty wild, even though I've only been doing this for a few days, and I'll probably pop in at some point. Follow me on, I guess, Facebook. I'll probably go live or something and talk about other realizations that have popped up for me. But I definitely invite you to try this, right? Like, what are the things that come up for you? And like, why in that moment could you not give a fuck about it? Right. And even if it's something that like you can never not give a fuck about, like that's okay. Like we're not here to judge. We're not here to say you should or shouldn't give fucks about certain things. Again, it's about being selective, being aware of what you're giving away your energy to, right? And then once we're aware of the things that we're actually doing, that really makes us take a look at ourselves and we're like, holy shit, like I didn't even really realize I was doing this. So then that helps us take the reins back. We have more power. We're more in control. We're more aware. So now we can say, okay, I won't do that. I'm not doing this anymore. Like, no. Hopefully that makes sense. But let me know if you try and give this a go. Let me know. Tell me down below what's coming up for you. What have you experienced? What realizations, what light bulb moments, what aha moments have come up for you? I'm curious to know. And again, I'll explore more of these that I've come up for myself and, how this is going for me as well. But until next time, guys, thanks for hanging with me. I will see you later. Bye.